You won't believe it if I told you that I had my baby without feeling any pain. Yes, I had my baby without feeling any pain. In this video, I'm going to be telling you everything I did to ensure that that happened. And I'm also going to be giving you guys my full experience from start to finish on how I had my baby in a Canadian hospital. Let's get right into the video. Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing my birth story, the process of how I had my baby in a Canadian hospital. I'm also going to be telling you guys the things that I did to have an easy and painless birth. Yes, I had my baby. I didn't feel any pain. I don't even know what labor pain feels like. I am so serious about that. Don't have any idea of what labor pain feels like. So I want to tell you guys, give you guys the full gist, tell you guys how everything happened. I'm taking you guys to like 1 week before, and every other steps and everything that happened. So just stick with me and let's dive into the main gist of the video. Before we go on, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button and support my channel. You doing that would mean a lot to me. Just you pressing that button in front of you that says subscribe would mean a lot to me. So please hit the button and support my journey as a YouTuber. Thank you. Okay, so when I found out I was pregnant in my house, using a home pregnancy test, you have to go to the hospital to confirm your pregnancy, even though you know you're pregnant, just to like confirm it for real. So I went to a clinic and I told them that okay, I want to see a doctor, that I'm pregnant. And so they directed me to the doctor that's in charge of seeing pregnant women, basically, because it's a clinic. It's not like a gynecologist place or anything like that. It's just like an open clinic where people walk in, or you can also fix an appointment. So I went to the hospital and then she checked me and then she said, oh yeah, confirmed it. Oh yeah, you're pregnant and all. I was like, oh yeah, great. I think I was 7 weeks? I think 8 weeks at that time when I went to the hospital. I didn't go immediately because I was sort of sure that I was pregnant, So, but I waited till like 8 weeks before going in for my first checkup. And then she checked me and she said everything was okay. And then she gave me another appointment. I think I went to that clinic about 3 times. Is it 3 times or 2 times? I think 2 times actually. I went to the clinic about 2 times. And then I was referred to a maternity clinic that takes care of pregnant women, that specializes just in that. They specialize in just taking care of pregnant women and their children after birth. Yeah. So I went there to the hospital and it was nice. That hospital is actually a really nice one because it's only females. Only females work there. It's a place here in Calgary. I don't want to mention their name, but yeah, I will try and put the name in the description if you're interested. It's only women doctors that are there, and that I really liked that. That's just a really nice touch. I don't know, I have nothing against male doctors, no, but things that pertain to labor, delivery, all those kind of things, you have to open your legs, all those kind of details, I would just prefer a woman. And just turned out that it's a women doctors clinic only, so I didn't need to have to tell them, oh, I want a woman. Yeah, so that worked out really nice. So I went there for all my prenatal checkups and all that. So the point I'm trying to make here, when you go to Canada and you don't have your baby, you first of all go to maybe your family doctor and you get referred. Most times you get referred because all my friends that also had babies around the same time I did, that was the way it was. Were referred to the hospital, like maternity, that is in charge, maternity that is in charge of taking care of babies, mothers and babies. First of all, you start going once a month, and then when your pregnancy gets to 6 months, you start going twice a month. And then when your pregnancy gets to 38, 39 weeks, you start going once a week. And then when you're 40 weeks, you go twice a week. Yeah, so that's kind of arrangement of the maternity clinic. I don't know how it is in other parts of the country, but that's how it is in Canada, in my own maternity clinic. So after the 6 weeks, I started taking dates. Yeah, I took lots of dates. You know, after watching different videos, people talking about it, I did it. I ate lots of dates, and I also did raspberry raspberry tea. I would put the raspberry tea here so you guys will see the brand that I used. I used raspberry tea. I was always drinking it every day. I was drinking every day from 36 weeks. In fact, my husband had to go and buy like extra packs when it finished because I was drinking that raspberry tea all every day. Not once a day, actually. I wasn't doing this more than once. I was doing it once a day. And it was really nice. It was not, the taste wasn't that bitter. It was just like, I think a mild taste, but not sweet. Yeah. So I did that raspberry tea, and by the time I got to 39 weeks, I started taking okra water. Yeah. And then I was going on walks. I went on walks, a lot of walks. I was always, you know, even doing this old stairs thing. I was doing the one that you do on the floor, that I forgot what to call it. Yeah. So I was doing that also, and that really helped me to, you know, push the baby down easily. In fact, as at 38 weeks or so, they could already, you know, feel my baby. My baby was already like really down because of all those things that I was doing. I believe it was because of all those things that I was doing. And then at 40 weeks, you guys, oh my goodness, at my exact due date, my water broke. But guess what? I didn't know. We went to the mall, you know, we're just walking around the mall and, you know, trying, you know, to get in exercise and something like that, just walking. And then I felt a little drop, and I was like, what's that? What's that drop? Oh my God, am I beginning to pee on myself? That was my thought. I was like, am I peeing on myself? I went to my husband, what's going on? I said, I was like, okay, I guess it's, you know, when you're almost close, you'll be peeing a lot. And I was thinking, yeah, it's just pee. So it's just like a drop. And then we got home, you know, we got on the elevator, and another drop. I'm like, what is going on? This time it was more than a drop, it was like a pee. You know, when you go and pee and then you hold yourself. So for the fact I was able to hold it and it stopped, I was like, okay, this looks like it's pee. I'm beginning to pee on myself. So I went home and, you know, went to the restroom, peed. I even wore pad that, okay, just in case, you know, the water really leaks or something, or maybe it's the pee. And I just wore the pad, let's see what happens. And I wasn't feeling any pain. So I was telling my husband, I think we should go to the hospital tomorrow, you know, we'll go and check it out, let's see what the problem is. And we slept, you know, I slept, I didn't even, there was no more water dropping, nothing, you know, I slept, woke up, I checked the pad, dry. I was like, okay, that was not my water breaking, okay, no problem. And then I just almost, I think it's best, you know, to go and check, because just to be sure, you know, because it's my EDD, let's just be sure. So I went the next day. You know, normally if your water breaks, you're supposed to go the exact day, but I didn't. I went the next day, and we got to the hospital, and the nurses were like, oh, okay, are you sure? I said, I don't know, I'm not sure, I just want to check. And then they said, okay, they're going to do a test and they will check if it's the water or not. And then we went there, and the doctor just told me, you're not going home today, your water has broken. I was like, okay. I was expecting a gush. Like, you see, when water breaks, like you feel like the old gush and everything. I didn't get any gush of water. It was just drops. Like, it was just 2 times I even remember doing a drop. So I don't know, maybe when I went to the restroom to pee, maybe the rest of the waters came out. I have no idea. But they told me that my water had broken the day before. And I was like, oh my goodness. And they said, okay, let them check for infection and all this. Oh yeah, you even begin to get an infection. You're not feeling anything. You're not feeling labor. That labor started. You know, they hooked me to a monitor, and then they said, we can see labor. We can see labor is progressing this monitor. Like, are you not feeling anything? I said, I can't feel anything. I feel just normal. I can't even feel menstrual pain. Like, you know, they said, oh, it's a feeling of menstrual pain. I said, I can't feel anything. We're like, wow, this is serious. And I think at that time when I checked me, I think I was 2 cm. At that time, I was 2 cm dilated at that time, but I wasn't feeling anything. So the next thing was to, you know, for me to start taking antibiotics for the infection that was beginning to arise. So I took the antibiotics, and I think I laid there for about, I think, 3 hours. You know, we were taking the antibiotics for about 3 hours, and then I started feeling a little bit of menstrual pain. I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm beginning to feel something. They said, oh, that's great, that's great. You're beginning to feel something, that's great. I said, yeah, I think this is the feeling people are talking about, but I was still able to talk normally. Okay, let me say this. I used to have really bad cramps, like really, really bad, bad cramps. So I was expecting something like that, at least a really bad cramp. This was just like, the feeling of my period is about to start, let me go get ready. That's the way it was. I didn't feel even a bad cramp. I didn't feel as bad as the cramps I used to have. I didn't feel that. So it's just like, wow. I said, yeah, that labor has started. So let's go to labor and delivery. And I went to labor and delivery. You can even see my picture. I was just walking, to labor and delivery on my own. And then we got there, they did another, connection of drips and all. They added epidural, they added oxytocin, so it's to make everything fast. Or do I want to just stay like that to the epidural? I don't know. I don't know if I should just keep pushing this. I said, let's just put everything. They said, yeah, let's just hook everything up together and watch the progress. And I said, okay, that's fine. And then we just kept going on. I was sleeping and waking up, sleeping and waking up through the whole process. The only thing I was feeling was weakness. Let me just call it that. I was just weak. I was just turning weak. I was weak. I think I even threw up. I was just weak. But for labor pain, I didn't feel any. I was hooked up to the epidural and the oxytocin around 6 or so p.m. And by 10, it checked. Oh my goodness, it's just like 6 cm gone. I was like, okay. I was just sleeping. I didn't really know what was happening around me. And then about when it was 1 o'clock, I was told we're going to come soon, so you can start pushing. I was like, okay, I'm ready for that. So the doctor came, the nurses and everybody, they pushed me, to stay in the upright position, they got me ready and I started pushing. How I was pushing, oh my goodness, because I didn't know, I couldn't feel anything, but I realized that by the time I stood up a bit, I could feel a little, when I call it pain at one side of my body, but it was not like an serious pain. It was just, that kind of menstrual pain feeling. I could feel it on one side of my body. So the doctor told me that whenever I feel, that feel, because it was coming and going, that whenever I feel that, I'll go ahead and push. So that's what I was doing. So whenever I just feel that pain, I'll just push. Was another thing. Being the first time mom, I didn't even know what to expect. When I push, that's if you want to pull. I was like, oh my, I don't know. I can't feel anything. I can't feel my legs. I can't feel anything because of the epidural. I couldn't feel my legs. Like, I can't feel anything. But they were like, do it. You can do it. Oh, so I started trying my best. Even my husband. But I was like, you can do it. You can do it. And I was just trying and doing all the old movements. I think that's. I'm sorry. It's my favorite remember. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but I was just, trying my best to do what I could do. And by 2:20, my baby came. Yeah, so it took me about 15 minutes to push, and everything was over. My baby came, looking really pretty, and it was a wonderful experience. So guys, these are the things that I learned, through my experience of giving birth here in Canada. First of all, your water breaking doesn't have to be dramatic. It can, be just a drop or 2 or 3, and once you're very close to having your baby, especially when it's maybe the week of your ADD, the 40th week, or maybe the 41st week, or even the 39th week, and you feel that kind of thing, you really need to go to the hospital immediately. Your water can break without you knowing, and once it happens, you have to go to the hospital immediately. Don't delay. Don't wait till the next day like me, because the nurses and the doctors were saying, oh my goodness, you're very lucky that it didn't result into anything terrible. So don't wait when you discover something like that. Even if you just go and get it checked, you should just go in, get it checked, and be sure that it's nothing serious. Or if it's something serious, then you go ahead and have your baby. And also, not every birth experience comes with labor. Of course, there are different things. If you take epidural and all, you wouldn't feel any pain. And there are also people like me, you know, who don't even feel anything when their water is broken over 24 hours, when their water breaks. Or even, you know, there are people like us that will be like, okay, really, I'm having my baby today. Like, oh, are you serious? Oh, really? You know? So pay attention. When you're close to your EDD, water breaking, or any sign at all, rush to the hospital. Don't sit at home. Don't watch TV like me. Don't go and sleep like me. Do better. Also, I must applaud the Canadian hospital. The staff, oh my goodness, they were so good in helping me, you know, keeping me calm. Even when, you know, I think things were even worse than I thought. You know, my husband was telling me, wow, you don't even know what's going on behind, because you're just being weak. But they kept me calm. I didn't even know what was going on. I didn't even know if my blood pressure was high or anything. I think the staff did really well, and I really, really, really applaud them for doing that for me. And also, after having my baby, you know, we moved to a room, and it was, you know, a fantastic experience. They came to check. Everything just treated me nice, you know, brought the food. I really, really enjoyed the experience having my baby here. And afterwards, you know, the next day you have to go to a public health place, or the person can also come to your house. But for me, I had to go there. You know, she checked me, you know, be sure that everything is fine. And then after doing that, you go for your 6 weeks appointment. You know, I kept going to the same place that I was going to, that I did my maternity. You know, I went there, did my 6 weeks visits. That's going once a week, you know, to check baby, to check me, and to ensure that everything is fine. And at 6 weeks, I was really healed, you know, stitches healed, everything healed. I was so happy I had my baby here in Canada. So if you're planning to have a baby, I hope my experience teaches you a thing or two, and I hope that you know that not every birth experience are the same. You don't have to shout all the time, you don't have to scream and all that. It can also be a very pleasant experience. If you found this video helpful, please give me a like, comment. I want to know your own birth stories too. Please comment and share your birth stories with me. And also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. Support me. I want to bring you guys, you know, a whole lot of gist, you know, different things, motherhood, also how to get to Canada, you know, newcomers tips and all that. So just stay tuned to my channel, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Thank you guys. Love you all.